Yep, yep.
Perfect. So here we are going to see a museum here in Hesse, in Land. I use Land because saying state is very German word for state in the US is because German is also federal. I mean, actually, we don't use state, we say Land, and in English as well. Hesse, and it's close to Frankfurt. And necklaces, they had different jewels on them, right? And so they were excavated. And there, Bede, as you can see it here, just where the museum is, you see that this building,
Yeah.
the mound was here, down there. And when you go there, and look, I'm not superstitious at all, right? But I need to say there is such an energy and atmosphere there, which is unbelievable. I can say something to you. I can say something to you, Bede. I'm not, again, superstitious. So when I say that, it means a bit. You remember we talked about these Roman artifacts at that museum just some weeks ago? They were also excavated because it was a Roman artification, which is a UNESCO World Protected Heritage Site. But there, I didn't have this feeling in that Roman fortification. But here, I cannot explain it to you. Maybe it's I don't know. It's the location. I have no idea. But mysterious.
I think the human mind is quite capable of building up the tension and the expectation when you know about these things, and also the fact that this is land not that far away from where you live.
Yes.
And his history going back 2,500 years or something. This is impressive.
Yes, very, very. So you can come in here just, from the other side, right, of all these figures which were put outside of the museum. So
I think it would grab attention if you saw it.
Yes.
If you're driving along, we've got to stop here and see what this is all about.
My son took so many pictures with them. He was fascinated by them. And now, please take a look at this.
The originals are really interesting.
Yes.
It's
yes.
To bring an Iranian context to it. The hairstyles are a little bit Parthian, aren't they?
Yes, I just wanted to talk about it with you. It is. Yes.
Except swept up into bunny ears.
Yes, it is.
I have a feeling if you met one of these people, you wouldn't make jokes about their hair.
No. You see that?
And
everything is intact. Only the feet were broken on this one, right? And 1996, they excavated it. Not long time ago, right?
Wow.
Yeah. You see that?
So 30 years ago, really.
Yes, exactly. I mean, relatively not long time ago, because we always talk about hundreds of years and so, right?
Oh, yeah. And the actual age of the thing is even. And this is a sandstone statue.
Yes. Yeah.
It's in a unique style. Like, this isn't copying somebody else's style.
No.
I mean, like, if you look at Etruscan art, you can see how it's related to Greek art, even though it's different and it's got its own features. This is completely different.
Yes, completely different. Yes. If we come here and take a look at what he carries a shield. You see that?
Right. This is the typical so-called Celtic shield. The interesting thing, from what I would say, is the shield's miniaturized, which is a thing you see later on things like Trajan's Column, where they make weapons and shields and things smaller for a better picture. Yet this, according to that note there, 420 BCE.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago. This is old in Europe. Is this like the Latine period, something like that?
Yes, it is. It is. Definitely. They just say it as well. It is Latine period.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. have no idea what the pattern is on his armor or clothes.
I
What
don't
it's
know.
supposed to mean. I assume it's just a simplification and a stylization of armor, whether it's meant to be scales or
Bede,
you
the
know.
statue weighs 230 kilos and is 186, 1 meter 86 high.
Wow.
230 kilos.
So
Massive.
it's life size basically.
Yes. Yes, it is.
For a big man. I mean, like uh,
Of course, for a big man. Of
I
course.
mean, I would be that much shorter than him.
Yeah. Large. And look at this bead on the right side. Why isn't it
Mhm.
working? Yeah. You see his sword?
All right. One of those, what they sometimes call antenna pommeled swords.
Yes.
And also a strongly shaped scabbard. So the scabbard is not just a sheath. It's got a ridge down the center of it, probably matching a ridge on the sword or something like that. This is a thing about Celtic weapons that you see occasionally, uh, where the scabbard is as decorative as the sword blade. And I'm saying that some sword blades are just flat, but some have very nice cross sections, and some have very complicated cross sections. And this looks now, bearing in mind, I've said the shield to me looks miniaturized. And I would say the sword is probably half size as well. It's probably on the original because they're trying to fit it to this stone sculpture. They're not going to have it really long and sticking out the bottom because it'd just break off. I mean, they know that. He seems to have, whether they're perigades, the little rectangles at the bottom of his possible
Yes.
breastplate, or it's just a gathered skirt of a shirt, like a chiton that he's wearing under it. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But there is so much detail. I mean, the hilt of that sword is like excavated swords
Yes.
of around this period.
Yes.
It means that the artist was quite familiar with the real objects. They weren't, they didn't bring an artist in from somewhere else and said, "Oh yeah, do a picture of him and then carve it out of a piece of stone." This is something that's culturally significant to the artist as well as to the person who ordered the statue to be made.
Yes.
It's really quite remarkable because, as I say, it's really not in a style um, that you can really say, "Oh, this is imitating one." I mean, there are styles of art that this is related to. I'm not trying to say that, but it's certainly not related to Mediterranean styles that much, unless they argue that just having a large statue like this is quite a Mediterranean Greco-Roman kind of thing to do. But I don't think so. Possibly they were making large statues out of wood that haven't survived, and here's one out of stone that gives you an idea of what they could do.
Yes. What we see here is, of course, a drawing, a very big one, a poster. They put it in the
Mhm.
museum, right? So, but we
Mhm.
see that these weapons this guy is carrying is all based on the real excavated weapons next to these statues. We are going to see these weapons, excavated
Oh,
weapons.
right, yeah,
So
and
that's what,
they've
yeah,
increased the size of the shield to match a
yes,
real shield that they
yes,
excavated.
yes.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So it's very beautifully done. So all these weapons you see are based on those excavated we are going to items we are
Yeah.
going to see.
The thing
Brilliant,
that's interesting from my point of view is that statue, the face of the statue has a kind of serenity.
of course.
Like he's not shouting, he's not screaming, he's just calm.
Oh,
Um, which it may have a significance for the people making it. Maybe just that it's put up to honor a dead man, and they don't want to show him frightened of being dead.
yeah.
Uh, it's hard to say.
The
Um,
leaf-shaped spear, it reminds me of some Achaemenid spears. The leaf-shaped.
yeah, leaf-shaped spears like that. I mean, broad spears with medium-length blades. They're really they're a very effective design. Lots of people came up with them. They came up with them in Africa. They
Yes.
came up with them in the Middle East. Um,
Yes,
there
everywhere.
are leaf-shaped spears from Northern Europe as well.
Yes.
So it's a thing that does a job really well.
Yes.
and a lot of people like it. And of course, if you're from a different culture and you see that, you can immediately think, "Oh, that reminds me of the spear that such and such used," or something like that. And
Yes.
the fact that he's got three,
Yeah.
maybe you could throw them as well.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Very interesting. Um,
Yeah.
Now they are excavated next to these statues, right?
Oh, they're nicely made. These are iron. Yeah, iron. It says iron. Sorry.
Irons.
Yeah. Look how nicely made they are. So, like in a bronze spearhead, a rib is being used to stiffen the spearhead.
Yeah.
But the blade is really good for cutting and stabbing,
Yes.
so that they're minimizing the drag. I mean, this is a horrible thought. The drag as someone gets stabbed. The others are much smaller and look like maybe javelin heads.
Yes. Yes, would be javelin. The museum
Yeah.
says arrowheads, but I mean, of course, some of them are really huge. They can't be arrowheads, right? Of course.
Yeah, yeah. It's unlikely they were using very large arrows at this time. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, because look at Stone Age people alive today
Yeah.
in New Guinea and in the Amazon actually use huge arrows,
Yes.
and they have quite large arrowheads on them. But there's not much evidence that that was going on in Europe. I think in areas with thick jungles, big arrows are really useful because you can find them once you've shot them. Whereas in a field or a normal, like a European forest, it's a bit easy to find them, so you don't make them quite so big. But these are look how well they're made. A lot of medieval spearheads aren't made that well.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and considering their
Technology.
age, it's shockingly good preservation.
Look at these.
Oh yeah.
Beads, did you see that? Some of them have remnants of textile there. You see that?
Oh right. So they may have had a cover over the spear, or
Yes.
they may have been buried and they put a cover over the burial, like
Yes.
a carpet or a blanket or something. Well,
Yes.
this would be a blanket probably.
Yes.
But the one of the great things about iron rusting is its ability to preserve fabric
Yes.
by chemical changes.
Yes.
We know a lot about fabrics from things that have stuck to metal objects in the ground,
Yes.
not just here, of course, all over the world. But
Pete, do you
yeah,
see
I'm
that
just
fossilized wood here? They're also part of
yeah.
wood.
So part of the shaft survived, and we know there's no big step in it. The socket smoothly runs into the shaft. See, this is something that unless this little bit survives, you don't know. And you've seen a lot of times people make shafts that are either too small for the socket.
Yes.
And when I say people, I mean people like me who are trying to work out how these work. Reenactors as well. Lots of people. When you've got this, you can say, they smoothly tapered the socket of the spearhead, fits smoothly into the spear shaft. No bumps.
Yeah. So these were
Yeah,
from
that's
rulers grave 1. So there were 3 graves of these rulers. Now we saw one of them. So it's in grave 1.
yeah. These are such nice spearheads.
Yeah. Beat, look at this triangular shape, and look at this one leaf shape. Very interesting, the
Yeah.
differences. Yeah.
I wonder if the triangular one is a small javelin, like a
Yeah.
like a 1.8 meter
Yeah.
thin shafted javelin, because that looks if the looking at the shaft in the spearhead and looking at the shaft in the triangular head, it just might be small enough to be an arrowhead.
Yeah.
But the shaft I'm talking about, not the
Yeah.
metal part. But on the
Yes.
other hand, it's not too small for a javelin, because a lot of javelins were quite light because you wanted to throw them a long distance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a Roman pilum is not meant to go a long distance, so it's quite heavy, and it's heavy to carry a lot of momentum. But something that had a head like that, if that was very sharp, you could throw that maybe 20, 30 meters and still have an effect when it hit. I mean, javelins aren't long-range weapons; they're medium-range weapons. But if ancient history is anything to go on, they're quite effective. I mean, it's hard for us in the modern times. We think of our brains are in terms of guns and things, and you point it and you hit something 1,000 meters away, or 300 meters away, or 100 meters away. You can't throw a javelin that far with any effect. Um, so therefore, javelins are much shorter range weapons, which don't exist in modern times. We don't have weapons like that. I mean, soldiers carry pistols, and some, well, some carry pistols, some carry knives, but they very rarely get to use them.
Yes,
Of
absolutely.
course, most fighting is done, even at close range for us is long range for our ancestors.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I have a close up of that one. Look at this one, Pete.
Oh, that's really good. Is that a carving on the blade?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like
Yeah.
to me, it looks like a snake, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a snake or a dragon or
Or a
some
dragon.
other such Celtic thing. I'm looking at the fabric is so well preserved.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really nice. You can
Fascinating.
see a little bit like hammering marks
Yeah.
on the blade, like from when it was forged.
Yes.
That could be just an artifact of because when an iron weapon is made and it's got inclusions in it, and you put it in the ground and it's there for a few thousand years, the inclusions sometimes get eaten out and it makes little hollows where there weren't hollows in the original.
Yes.
Other times it goes the other way. The shaft, you can see almost the grain of it being very straight grained.
Yes. Very.
Um, I'm guessing at that time, probably something like ash would make a very good spear shaft. Um, I also like the way the rib kind of flows into the blade.
It does. Yeah.
It's got a very nice shape to it.
Very nice.
Looks like the point's still sharp.
Yes, it does actually. Look at this. Look at the real. It has such a point. Look, my
Yeah,
God.
it's brilliant.
Look at this one. This one as well. Very sharp.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful. Honestly, look at this one, Pete.
I'm looking at the steel. I wonder if it's been pattern welded.
Yeah, you're right.
You can see a bit of weight. Now, I know from people that have done smith work and shown me, and from old swords, that sometimes you get that wavy pattern in the steel when it's just wrought iron.
Yeah.
Because of it doesn't mean that they put two different types of metal together and hammered them together. Sometimes it's just the nature of the iron itself.
Yes.
But it does have a vague look of it. I mean, I don't want to read too
Especially
much into
here.
it.
Especially here. Here. Right?
Yeah,
Here.
yeah.
You see?
I
Or
mean,
here. Or here.
yeah.
Here. Yeah, you're
So
right. Or here.
it's. I'm not saying that it is pattern welding, but it does have that look. And as I say, I have seen low carbon steel objects that have no pattern welding, that when you etched the surface, it did look as though it had wavy patterns in it. It's just the steel itself. And it doesn't look like Woods or anything like that. It doesn't look like any kind of damascening, but there can be patterns in the iron by itself. And when I say etch, we would acid etch the metal to bring out the pattern. But if you leave it in the ground long enough, some parts of the iron oxidize away and other parts don't. It's so hard to tell with something like this. I mean, I'm sure the archaeologists looked at it with microscopes and everything and know exactly what it's like. But to me, it's just such an elegant shape.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it's a really nice. The socket probably goes a little way into the ridge, not very far.
Yeah.
Yet they clearly felt this was strong enough and this will do what we need it to do.
Yeah. It's very
Very
fascinating.
nicely made.
Look at this one.
Oh, this has a longer, thinner socket.
Yeah, it does.
Now, again, I don't have a scale, so I'm not sure how big that is.
This is the smaller one, and I can show it to you here. Oops, sorry.
Mhm.
This one is here. You see that?
Okay.
The
So
one you
it's
said pattern valuable
almost, yeah,
is this one. You see? That's
yeah. So it's small enough to be a very large arrowhead or a small javelin head.
yes.
It's in that family group. The
Yes.
reason I said that is because the remaining shaft is very parallel,
Yes.
which I don't know much about Celtic archery at this period. I
Yes.
can't remember hearing very much about it when I've been reading Roman sources fighting the Celts about them using a lot of archery. I mean, they had archery, but whether they were using a lot.
The
Javelins, different matter. People love throwing javelins.
Yes. Do you know what
Um,
fascinating is? We were talking about the Roman weapons from close to me in Germany, the Roman fortification. Now we are talking on the other side, the Celts.
yes, yeah, that's true.
Fascinating. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know why the Romans went to so much effort? Because this is not primitive weaponry at all. This is very
No,
sophisticated.
not at all. No. It makes you realize what they faced. Huh? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a very nice piece.
Very.
If it was an arrow, it was very well made.
And
I have a
also
feeling
fabric.
that's
You see that bead? Do you see
yeah, yeah.
fabric
So
here?
either covered with a piece of fabric or wrapped in a fabric.
Or
Um,
wrapped. Yeah.
yeah,
Why
because
did
you
they
maybe
wrap
they were.
it? Why did they wrap it there?
Oh, I think to carry them together and bury them together, something like that.
Yeah.
Or it may be that what part of the burial ritual was to cover the body and its goods with a big piece of fabric as to show respect. There is a small possibility that they made fabric covers for spearheads.
Yeah. Could be.
Um, but fabric, you don't really think of it as an idea because if the spearhead's sharp, which I bet these were, fabric's not going to be much of a protection for either you or the spearhead. Um,
Yeah. Look at this one.
yeah, see, yeah, they're. I mean, I've seen modern broadheads exactly that shape.
Yes.
Um, uh, but that, as I say, anything that has a shaft diameter smaller than say 10 millimeters in this period could be an arrow. Over 10 millimeters, you'd almost certainly be some kind of javelin. 500 years ago, story's different. In England, you had arrows that were 12 millimeters in diameter in the middle, and in China, the same thing. In Iran, they tended to use smaller diameter arrows made from things like reed, um, because they could get the particular stiffness they wanted. But early on, if you look at early bronze arrowheads, which I have some of, um, they're made for shafts that are about 6 millimeters to 7 millimeters in diameter, not much
Yes.
bigger than that.
Yes.
Whereas, I showed you that arrow the other day. I
Yes.
think it's still laying around here somewhere. I
Yes.
can't see it. But here's one with a bone head.
Yes. Mhm.
You see, the heads are quite small.
Yeah.
And this is based on a excavated Scythian style arrow, made by a friend of mine. And I outside of Egypt, I haven't seen anywhere, and Bronze Age in Egypt, I've seen very big arrowheads there that clearly from the Tangs are for arrows. Um, but they used angular composite bows with very long draws, so you can get a lot of energy into the arrow. Whereas here, I mean, the bows used there before the Celts, like in Neanderthal times, are quite powerful self bows. Sometimes like the Holmegard bow and things like that, quite complex shapes. So I'm not saying they couldn't have made arrows that were really big. I just don't know of any surviving. Um, I might do a scout through um, Junkman's book on Vale and Vogan,
Yeah.
because that's got a lot of excavated arrows in it from Northern Europe, so they probably are Celtic ones. And have a look at the diameters of the shafts. See, that's one of the things that's really crucial to identify arrows. Even like if you go to New Guinea, where you're shooting arrows that are almost as tall as I am, so 1.5 meters is not unusual. And the people themselves are about that tall too. So it has no relationship to how far you can draw a bow or anything. The arrows were made because that's how they wanted to make arrows. The shafts never got much bigger than 12 millimeters. And that's on an arrow that's, like up to here on me when I'm standing up. So, again, I'd have to look it up to really find out. I have no image of thick arrows in Northern and Central Europe from this period. And certainly Scythian style arrows were very, very thin and short. As you saw, that one was, like 55 centimeters long or something like that. We're not getting these massively long draws. We're getting draws to the chest, usually. Though, again, there are things that are for a longer draw, so it's not consistent.
Yes. And Pete, look at this one. Doesn't it remind you of a modern jet fighter?
Yeah, it's actually got a really, really good shape. So it's like they've superimposed the socket central rib onto a blade. So you end up with the rib and the socket being vertical and the blade being horizontal. And that's your jet fighter design, I suppose. It looks more like a spacecraft from a science fiction movie. But yeah, I mean, it's just a brilliant use of materials.
Yeah.
And clearly the smiths making this really understood the material they were using and really liked bringing out its features.
The first sword, Pete, made of iron and bronze.
That's amazing.
And also fittings, different fittings which were found close to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I recognize some of the fittings from various books that I've read about this kind of thing. See, the thing about these swords and their scabbards, they are so sophisticated, they're so advanced.
Yeah.
If you saw them in a 15th, 16th century context, you'd say, oh well, yeah, this is up to the kind of, I mean, whether the blades are of the same quality, well, very unlikely, because there was a development in ironworking from, relatively soft to hard,
yes,
to tempered.
Just one thing for our viewers, next to each sword, a spear head was found. You see that here? That's the spear. And
right.
Just we're going to see better pictures, I hope. No.
Yeah.
You see
so
that?
this is associating the weapon. Yeah, that's very clear.
Yeah. You see
That's
that?
really interesting.
Yeah.
Because often in grave finds, you find the sword next to the body and a spearhead or two up here, and if the spears have metal butts down below, say about that far away from the body to the side.
Yeah.
Whereas the sword is nearly always very close to the body because maybe it was worn on a belt.
Yes.
Put on the corpse when it was buried.
Yes. I read in
But
the
look at
archaeological report that the sword was always put on the right side of the warrior. So then they found also the spear. Every time you see the spear, because they found that it's this way. So they exhibited the same way almost what they found.
Wow, that's really interesting. The sword on the right side of the body seems alien to us because we think of drawing swords from the left side, but the Romans always wore this gladius on the right side because with a big shield, apparently, I've never had a big shield to try this out with, but apparently it's easier to draw a sword like that than it is to draw it cross body.
Look here, the painting.
Yeah, you can see that's. Yeah, well, yeah, because remember you showed us a close up of the statue, and you could see the sword clearly.
Oh yes,
on the
right side.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But look at there's the metal frame around the scabbard, which is a really good design feature. quite a long tang for the handle.
Yes.
I don't know how long that sword is. Um, I mean, if it's 70 to 80 centimeters long,
It is. It is. It's a long sword. Yeah. A long sword. Yeah.
yeah,
Relatively long. Yeah.
and that's quite a big handle for it. It's
Yes.
quite wide for
Yes.
its length. Um, we don't know how they use their swords. We
No.
know they use big shields, so therefore one imagines that they fought with the sword around the shield.
Yes.
It wasn't like you didn't fence like modern people fence, where you lead with the sword. You would have led with the shield.
Yes.
I assume. Lots of chains and things to hang things off, and
Yes.
decorative belt fittings.
Yes. Let me
I
just
mean,
see.
it's
Yeah.
really
Just
quite elaborate.
elaborate. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there are also corrals there, right? So they had also it's very interesting there, right? So they had
So they
found
imported, yeah.
yeah,
So there's imported material incorporated into their
yes,
swords and their
yes,
fittings and that.
yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wonder if the spearhead, if they kept a spearhead tied to their scabbard. I don't know. I couldn't imagine you suddenly whipping out a spare spearhead to fix your broken spear. That doesn't seem very realistic. But maybe in the ritual, in the burial process, that this is had a symbolism,
This is
something with.
statue two, which is broken. See, this is the face is
Mhm,
here, the rest. Okay, because one fortunately was intact almost. The
mhm.
rest are broken, and in 118 pieces, unfortunately.
You got to hand it to archaeologists. All those years of putting pots back together, they're really good at putting three-dimensional jigsaws together.
You see, there are parts of
It's
it.
a real skill.
Unfortunately, yeah, you see the parts of it, the one which was
Mm.
fragmented, broken, right? You see that, Pete?
Yeah, but it does seem to be rather well carved, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Look at
very
the
well.
the mouth and the beard. I'm sporting that beard.
Yes, yes. And look at
Uh,
this. Look at this, the face.
isn't yeah? Again, it's that kind of serene.
Yes,
I mean, his eyes are closed. He's clearly they're representing the dead,
yes,
but it's serene. It's not,
yes,
you know,
yes.
very calm looking.
Now the another one,
Oh,
the grave one. That's the sword they
mm,
found there. You see that, Pete?
that's amazing. And we're looking at the scabbard, which gives us a really good idea of the iron sword inside. If you just find an iron sword, sometimes it's just rust in the earth.
Oh, this
But
one
these
has the
scabbards,
handle. The description, I didn't put it correct because I copy paste from the other one. So this is it has its handle. The other one didn't, right? This one has the handle. Just
yeah, yeah. The other one you just saw a tang,
yes,
and
yes,
it's quite an elaborate handle too.
yes. Let me just see if we have a close up. Oh yeah, look.
Oh my God, yeah. That's Look at how stunning that is.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah,
stunning.
that's exceptional. And you can see, look at the detail on the mouth of the scabbard too. That's all at a level that, a jeweler would
Ah,
be happy
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
So inlaid stones, bronze pieces. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the handle was originally made of, but it certainly had a lot of bits stuck onto it.
Yeah.
Um, Clearly it follows that pattern with the pommel like that, then the handle,
Yes.
then the crossguard mirroring the pommel to some degree. I'm sure it actually gives a pretty good grip.
Yeah.
But
Beautiful.
I'm just truly impressive design.
Impressive, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah, I mean,
Look at the
this.
technology. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm totally blown away by this. This is. I mean, you see drawings of things, or you see, if you're unlucky, you see AI images of things, and it gives you entirely the wrong feel.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is all corroded and messed up. But when you look at the scabbard and see how crisp all the lines are, you know how crisp that was when it was originally buried before it got damaged. And each of the little discs on it seem to be quite complex in their structure. So really very, very impressive.
It's unbelievable.
Mm.
Look at this bead.
Oh, yeah. And see, you can see on the bottom where the rusting iron blade, the rust grows and makes it thicker, and it's pushed the bronze up
Yes.
and split it.
Here.
Uh,
Bead is talking about here, right? Exactly.
yeah.
Iron blade is here, scabbard, bronze scabbard.
Mm.
Yeah. Push.
Yeah, we're not going to pull a sword out of that scabbard soon.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is what happens to real stuff. I can't remember whether these scabbards were lined with very thin laths of wood or not. It's been a long time since I've read about them. But to be honest, I've never seen such good photographs of them. So, I mean, when you look at the detail, like the lines that were engraved into it, I mean, the edges of the scabbard around it. Then you've got lines engraved. Then it comes up to where the central rib of the scabbard is. More lines engraved to define the outline of everything. It's really nicely done.
Beads, look.
Oh,
Again, look at this. What are these? Fabric?
that to me looks like the remnants of a braided belt, as opposed to a woven piece of cloth.
Yeah.
This is much coarser, larger pieces woven together. I would tend to think that may have been some kind of. It could have been leather. It could have been in a basket for all we know, and that's the remains of the basket. It looks a bit like a braided belt to me, but
Yeah. Beautiful.
Not there. Don't have a microscope. Can't tell. Look at the way they've done that. Isn't that beautiful?
It is unbelievable.
This is. They're taking things that are basically structural, like the thickened edge of the scabbard is structural. It's to join the two plates at the front and the back of the scabbard together and everything. And then they've just made it come out a bit, and we put a few little decorative pieces on. They look like they may have had stones in them.
Yes.
In fact, some of them look as though they've got stones that have deteriorated, so they may have been carved bone or ivory or whatever.
They've also
was
corals
the
there, some of them, right? Exactly.
Oh, coral. Oh, right,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well,
and some of them
coral. That would have been incredibly expensive because coral came from the Mediterranean. And coral in the Mediterranean isn't near the surface like coral on the Great Barrier Reef. It's hundreds of meters deep, I think. So therefore, always expensive. I mean, in these times, so somebody had to be out diving for something and found a piece of, or maybe their ankle hooked a piece of coral and broke it off and they pull it up. And then they go off somewhere and sell it. It gets cut up into small pieces, turned into beads, turned into little carvings. And they progressively get more and more valuable the further away you are from where the original broken branch of coral came from. It's like, lapis lazuli. I mean, it's all coming from Afghanistan, but there's lapis lazuli beads in ancient Egypt from 3000 BCE and in Sumer from the same times. The stuff traveled.
Yes.
That are really